وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So inshallah we'll continue today in the book Madarij al-Salikin by Imam Ibn Qayyim, Step of the Seekers. And today is very important subject. We talk about the word al-Baseera, with the sword Baseera from the word Basara. Right? You know, in Arabic, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called Basir, Sami'un Basir, all of this together. Basara artinya to see. Right? There's also another word for that in Arabic called, anduru, see, right? But we have Basir and Baseera. What different? Basir, you see with your eyes. They call Basir. Baseera, you look with your heart. Right? To understand that, the word Baseera, if you put your hand in the front of you very close, you only Basir, you only see the hand, right? So what you need to do to see that there is zoom, there is people, there is building, we have to don't close it, but keep away the hand from our eyes like this. Oh, you can see everything, right? It means if you put too much dunya, you don't see nothing. You only see money, job, But don't leave it dunya, in order to see the akhir. Keep away a little bit, And Basira, insight, also is like a light Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in the heart of the people. Basir, you can see what outside, but you don't see what inside, right? So this is a very important subject, because when you have Basira, the way you choose, the way you act, the way you react will be different. Because Allah gives you light in your hearts. So now let me talk about what definition of Basira.
What is the meaning of Baseera? The word Baseera finds its plural form in Basair and carries the following meanings. 1. Insight, expertise, or a particular lesson. 2. A true prediction or prophecy. 3. Incontrovertible proof and its evidence. 4. Intellect and divinely granted acumen. 5. Farsightedness to that which is elusive or hidden.
Look at how deep the word is. In English, you need to explain all this. Because, Ibn Qayyim, the one who wrote this book, he said that different type of the heart, Number one called, Mautul Basira, the death of the Basira in your heart, like that. The Quran said, Andartum amlam tundirhum, you warning them, you saw the proof, you said the mu'jiza, they're not what you call accept. Why? Because the Basira is dead. Like Abu Jahl. Abu Jahl, he came to the prophets. He one day said, Muhammad, Abu Jahl and his friends, if you are prophet, prove it. What do you want? That full moon? Yeah, split it. And the split, the moon is split, they see it. Do they believe? No. They said Muhammad is, I told you, man, Muhammad is magician. One day he brought a lizard hey Muhammad, are you prophet? He said, yeah. Can you talk to the lizard? Rasulullah talk. He said, Ya dog, oh lizard, who am I? The dog, he answered with polite, Labbaika wa sa'adik. Right? This is how respect. When somebody call you, you respect. Labbaika wa sa'adik. Annaka Rasulullah, you are a messenger of Allah. Do they believe? No. Mautul Basira. The Basira is dead.
Mohamad? Mohamad, don't mute me. Don't mute me. Hey, I said don't mute me. I like your hat. I like it.
So, and then we have also Masdudul Basira. Masdud mean the heart is covered. This majority.
Mohamad, shut the fuck up, man. Remove me from the meeting. It's not that hard, bro.
Pak Rahmat bisa dikeluarkan nggak orang itu?
Di blok aja Ustadz.
Gimana caranya? Pak Muhammad bisa ya? Siapa namanya?
Ada,
Mike Hall.
Michael?
dari luar.
Ketemu namanya ya? Ya Pak. Ya Pak. So we'll continue, inshallah. You know, there is nothing compared to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you know how the Prophet before, when he start making dawah, people are making noise. This is a good, you know, how the Rasulullah feel. Yeah. So we have the heart that dead. You know, you give them everything will not work. And then also masdud. Masdud mean like cover, not dead but cover, because a lot of sickness, right? You know, like okay, basira, you see with your heart, right? Like our eyes, sometimes we have cataract, right? Cataract, that might not blind. You can make operation or use the glasses, right? So some eyes like that, right? We need to have glass. The last one, this is what the subject of Shi'a'ul Basira, the heart that bright. You can see it, right? Ainul Basira, Haqqul Basira. This is what the book called Salikin, the one who start walking toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. So therefore, sometimes this is very important. You look at the cover, look like beautiful. You see the house, you know, the house is beautiful, but then you find out when you go inside, you know, the family and that house was not what did you think. You know? So therefore, I said the most dangerous in education for our kid, when our kids see or depend of what they can see with the eyes. You know, like for example, they see a man wearing kufi, wearing turban. People saw his religious people, religious men, and then the kids saw their action, the cheating people, the lying, for example, this can cause the children hate the religion. You know, I met somebody, you know, I don't mention the name. It was very interesting. He was helping masjid, you know, his, you know, a lot of things, his contribution, you know, his contractor and all this. But when time to pray, he left. So one day I talked to him, you know, and he said he had bad experience with the mullah, with religious people when he was young. So he generalized. So of all the imams like that, they said not like that, everybody. But that basir, he didn't have basira, right? It is very important that we have to appear outside inside is the same, right? So people will not misunderstand. Yeah. Continue.
The term Baseera in the Holy Quran on multiple occasions. The translated term for Baseera is emboldened. 1. In noun form. A. Surah Yusuf, verse 108. Say, O Prophet, this is my way. I invite to Allah with insight. I and those who follow me, glory be to Allah, and I am not one of the polytheists.
Yeah. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي. Muhammad said, this is my way. Yeah. What's my way? Adu ilallah. I call to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So what's the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It's da'wah. Right? But da'wah had to be based on what? Ala basira. Look at the word. Ala basira. Based on basira. On proof. Right? On evidence. Ana, I am. وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي, and those who follow me. That means da'wah had to be collective, not alone. It's very important that we invite people to do the same. Yeah. As I mentioned before, the main duty of all the prophets from Adam to Muhammad is to convey the message and to be a role model, a good example. Because uswa hasanah. Right? So therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not choose any man to be his messengers. Right? He selected certain people, you know, all prophets from good family, their life protected, they never lie, never cheat. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed them after 40 years. So to gain the confidence of the people. Right? And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet said, no prophet unless they become shepherd. Because to be leader, you need to train, you know. So sometimes good, sometimes we go to the field, the field, the farm, and lead the, you know, 40 or 20. God, it's not easy, right? This is training for them. And also, all the prophets, they're facing a lot of difficulties in their life. So therefore, they have to be prepared because you get to be leader also, to lead the people. Like Musa, even when he was born, he was in trouble. They put in the bucket, put in the river. That's not easy life. Right? Why? Because Musa, he going to face a tyrant. And then also he faced the people that too long they has been under slavery. It's not easy. Yeah. Muhammad sallallahu, he was born yatim, orphan. And then when he was 6 years old, his mother died. He had difficult life in the beginning, right? There's strength also. Yeah. Yeah. But all of them were successful because Ana Basira, they was calling people through the Basira, through the concrete knowledge, strong knowledge. Yeah. And Muhammad sallallahu is not also successful, you know, to be a role model, and he was able to bring people around him also to be role model. Yeah. the first established called Darul Arqam for the training for 3 years, right? And then he divided the generation into 3 generations. The old people like Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and then the next generation, the youth, like Ali bin Abi Talib, Bilal, Suhaib, Mus'ab, and then even the children, like Hassan Hussein, Ibn Abbas. So in 100 years, when the first generation is gone, the next one come, ready to carry the message. And all of them will become good example, role model. Yeah, this is the key why Muhammad Dawah was successful. Yeah. So in Surah Al-Qiyamah, Allah SWT said, Balil insanu ala nafsihi basira, walau alqa ma'adhira.
In fact, people will testify against their own souls, despite the excuses they come up with.
Subhanallah. Yeah. So Allah SWT said, people in their judgment going to bring excuses, ma'adhira, right? But Allah SWT said, human beings, they know themselves. Yeah. And before I explain this, there is 3 types of people, mostly, right? People who always think about the past. They think about the past. Either they crying like most of the Indian, or just proud. Oh, my father, my grandmother, and all this. And these people never progress. A group of people who just concerned about now, this time. That's mostly Western civilization. They're even when they talk about future in this life. It is good, So they have a lot of technology and all this because they think about this. Yeah. Like Nike, just do it. Enjoy your life. Right? But we are Muslim, we are the people of now and the future. Mustaqbal. Yeah. The people who are think about future mean not this life, next life. We consider this life is temporary. This like a farm. You are a farmer. You plant the seed, and then you can get the harvest in the future, right? So the one who look about the future, they need to have basira, because by having basira, you know when is your destiny, right? What we have to do. Yeah. So, for example, what you call, we as human being, all of us, we know ourselves. We know our capacity, our ability. If somebody praises us, we know it is true or not. Many people know that about us. Yeah. So therefore, but the problem sometimes, we know a lot about the other fault, the other mistake, but we ignore our weakness or mistake. Why? Because there's no basira. Basira is like a gift that Allah gives to us after we're struggling, and after we make an effort. Yeah. And it is true. Sometimes people, when Allah gives basira, He has some kind of feeling. One of the sheikh, one time he was eating in the one restaurant, and he not comfortable, and then he asked about the chicken. You're going to eat the chicken, but the good chicken. He said, where the chicken come from? And he said, I don't know. And they asked the owner, the what he said. And then we found out this, the restaurant was cheating. They put halal, but it's not halal. But that, you know, only that Sheikh had this kind of feeling because his basira was very deep. Yeah. You know, sometimes maybe you can see you want to do some transaction and all this, suddenly your heart is trembling. That's basira, you know, or if another word called firasat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something give to us. Right? Some basira very strong, like Umar bin Khattab. He can see when people come, he's going to intend bad to Rasulullah. And you know, I mentioned many stories about that. Yeah. In another ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ بَصَائِرُ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ أَبْصَرَ فَلِنَفْسِهِ وَمَنْ عَمِيَ فَعَلَيْهَا وَمَا أَنَا عَلَيْكُمْ بِحَفِيظٍ.
Surah Al-An'am, verse 104. Indeed, there have come to you insights from your Lord. So whoever chooses to see, it is for their own good. But whoever chooses to be blind, it is to their own loss. And I am not a keeper over you.
Yeah. Basair, not only basir, basair. Yeah. Basair here means insight, a proof. Yeah. But then it's up to us. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us, show us what's halal and haram. The Quran said, and Hadith said, Al halalu bayyinun. Halal is clear, haram is clear. In between is a gray matter. Right? For example, riba. We know this riba is haram, right? It's not gray matter. You know, the Quran mentioned that the one who consume riba, you know, after he know, he will be forever in the hellfire. The warning is very strong, right? But people sometimes, man, we can do, man. You know, we live in this country, right? So it's a faman absara by nafsi. The one who follow this is halal, is haram, samina wa atana, they will benefit from himself. Faman amiya will be blind. Blind means he know it, but try to close the eyes because just want to enjoy the life. We know that, you know, dealing with many things in this life, you know, I know it is some people sometimes make us man yet take too much serious. It is have to be serious. Like for example, you go to the restaurant, you know, you have to ask the menu, you have to select it. Even you buy the medicine, something you have to look at they have gelatin or not, and all this. This is called paman absor. You concern basir, you know, because what you eat, what you earn, what your income is effect in your ibadah, effect in the next life also. وَأَبْصِرْهُمْ فَسَوْفَ يُبْصِرُونَ.
You will see what will happen to them, and they too will see.
So this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You will see what will happen. Because sometimes, you know, when you doing da'wah and people are stubborn and even try to kill you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Muhammad, you will see. It's soon. Right? Or also this could be see it here in his life. You know, after all the battle, then we have Fatah Makkah. Allah opened Makkah. فَسَوْفَ يُبْصِرُونَ. They will see also. Those who attack you before, who belie you, you know, kick you out from your country, they will see. Yeah, Baseera. Use the word the same, Baseera. Yeah. In Surah Al-Kahfi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also used the word, yeah, but you know, Basir. قُلِ اللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا لَبِثُوا لَهُ غَيْبُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ أَبْصِرْ بِهِ وَأَسْمِعْ مَا لَهُم مِّن دُونِهِ مِن وَلِيٍّ وَلَا يُشْرِكُ فِي حُكْمِهِ أَحَدًا.
Say, O Prophet, Allah knows best how long they stayed. With him alone is the knowledge of the unseen of the heavens and the earth. How perfectly he hears and sees. They have no guardian besides him, and he shares his command with none.
Subhanallah. Yeah. So people were discussion about how long, Ashabul Kafi stay, right? And they were discussing 300 years, 309, less and more. He said, tell Allah, the one who knows, how long, and so how many people, yeah. Lahu, because belong to him the unseen of the heaven and the earth. Then he said, Absir. Absir, the one from the word Basoro, because there is a level of Baseera. The first one, Baseera, in knowing Allah, feeling that you're close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. And this is very important because the most important in Iman, you have this kind of Baseera toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? If you see somebody, for example, he regularly come to masjid, make dua, read Quran, yeah, and he's struggling for that, but he enjoys that because he have basira that Allah ma'akum, Allah always with you, right? Yeah. Or maybe you see a young people, his life was very difficult. He have a lot of kids, but he always istiqamah. And you see it happy. Where does this heavy come from? Because of basira. He see something that people didn't see it, right? And it's a lot. People something. Look like their life look like they have now difficult life, but in what you call, in reality, the people have basira, they are happy. Because what is the most expensive in iman? When your heart can see what people cannot see. Yeah. And people who can see that he is with Allah, he's going to have trust in Allah. Trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him victory. The Sahaba never lost hope. Never feel that, they're going to defeat him. Always they feel they're going to win. He'd have trust that Allah will give him his rahmah, give him tawfiq. He have trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just, and so on and so on. So this feeling, of basira is very important in the life. One of the example is Yusuf alayhi salam. What make Yusuf able to stand, against that woman? The king will not marry except beautiful woman. So Zulaikha was so beautiful. That's number one. Number two, Yusuf was her slave. Number three, Yusuf was young. Right? He have also desire. So why the Quran said, وَلَقَدْ هَمَّتْ بِهِ وَهَمَّ بِهَا. And she wanted, and Yusuf also wanted, both of them. Right? But what make Yusuf in the last minute? He becomes strong because of basira that Allah put in his heart. Yeah. Then at the same time also, the level of basira between one and the other is different. And this also based on knowledge. More you have knowledge about Quran, about Hadith, more you attend this kind of halaqah, the basira more stronger because now you know what the difference between haq and batil. Yeah. Some people, take it easy, doing things that not supposed to because maybe didn't have knowledge. Yeah. And also knowledge also, you know, I give example. Something with knowledge, you gain reward more than the others. If you come to masjid for Fajr, to pray Fajr masjid, right? So what do you have to do when you come to masjid? You know, you pray Tahiyatul Masjid, 2 rakats of before Fajr, and so on. But if you have knowledge, you can just pray 2 rakat and you gain all this reward, right? For example, when you're going to pray, I intend to pray 2 rakat Fajr, 2 rakat Tahiyatul Masjid, and 2 rakat wudu. You don't need to pray 6 o'clock, 6 rakat, right? That's knowledge. Yeah. So Yusuf alayhi salam, he was able to stand because of the Baseera through knowledge that was given to his father before he left. Yeah. So that's what you call the first level or degrees. You know, you have feeling that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is with you. So you always abstain from everything that's haram. Second one, Baseera fil amri wa nahi. You have Baseera in implementing Allah's commandment and prohibition. Yeah. The one who have Baseera, you know, they see that obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most expensive thing in his life, the most important thing. And the one who have weak Baseera, they not really care. They not really even feel guilty if you didn't wake up for Fajr, if you didn't read Quran for 1 year, for example. Yeah. They become imma. You know imma? Yes men. When people do good, they also join with them. Good. When people do bad, also do the same. As Allah said, what we have to have principle. You can join with a good deed, but not when people do bad deed. Right? You know, some people sometimes they don't have Baseera. They try to find excuses. Right? I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I am, in Arabic called muttar. I have to, man. It's urgent. Isn't it, ad-dururat tubihul mahdurat? When you urgent, everything haram become halal. We can eat pork if, we are hungry, there's no other food. It is true. But is it true you are in urgent? Because according to fiqh, urgent means you're going to die if you do this. If you unable to buy the house unless through riba, borrow money from the bank, is it you going to, to die, or you going to live in the street? Most people, they are bed to rent, for example, so therefore some people sometimes just for small thing, they said I am in darura. Yeah. So that's the Baseera in implementing what Allah asked to do and what Allah SWT. So therefore, our job always sami'na wa ata'na. Yeah. Allah SWT, do and don't do. When Allah SWT asks do, that means what? It should be for our benefit. Allah said don't do, that means what? Is it dangerous for you? Right? And all this, we cannot really enjoy it unless you have this kind of Baseera. Yeah. The last one is al-Baseera fil wa'di wal wa'id. Baseera concerning what Allah SWT promised, what Allah SWT warning us. Yeah, it means you have to have belief, concern, that Allah SWT will call us one day for accountable. يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. And Allah SWT will judge us according to what you earn. لَهَا مَا كَسَبَتْ وَعَلَيْهَا مَا اكْتَسَبَتْ. Big or small thing, the judgment of Allah SWT promise. If you do this, they call al-wa'du. You don't do this, you call wa'id. And the one who has Basira, he knows it. He knows the way to Jannah, the way to hellfire, right? Because when you look at the people, look like all the same. Muslim, non-Muslim, good Muslim, bad Muslim. Every day they, have house, have car, they walk, the same job maybe. Yeah. They enjoy their life, both of them the same. But when you know the difference, وَامْتَازُوا الْيَوْمَ أَيُّهَا الْمُجْرِمُونَ, on that day, imtaz, only two group people of Jannah will have fire. Yeah, so you have to be careful. There is a man, when his father died, he took everything of his inheritance. And they let his brother and sister live in difficulty life. And one of neighbor who knew that, and he said, oh man, this man will be in trouble in their life. This man is not scholar, nothing, but this is the rule of nature. When you do oppress, it will happen. It's, in 3 months, suddenly that brother have a cancer. Cancer. And cost him death after 3 months. So 6 months, he enjoyed it all, the wealth of his father. He died. There's many stories, people doing the operation, the people, Allah SWT let them, suffer. The people watch what happened. The Quran said, "Man amina salihan min dhakarin aw untha wa huwa mu'minun falanuhyiyannahu hayatan tayyibah." Whoever did good deed, male or female, and he's believer, I will give him good life. And good life not because he have everything, no. Maybe he didn't have nothing, but they have Baseera, Allah SWT give to him. Yeah. So come back to the
In summary, Baseera relates to spiritual understanding, for it is a tool of the mind, heart, and soul to reach into hidden meanings and understandings. If we use our eyesight as a tool to interact with the visible world around us, then Baseera is the tool of understanding the spiritual, intangible world.
word. Yeah. So in conclusion and summary, we have Baseera, have Baseera. Right? Both is to see. One with the eyes, one is with the hearts. The one of the heart is gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Say Nurun is the Prophet said, Nurun that Allah gives to the people. So the question now, how to get Baseera? Number one, of course, to get Baseera, because Baseera come from heart, you have to clean our hearts. Right? Clean from too much love of dunya, clean from suspicion, envy, hatred, right? Because Allah light, will not end up in the dirty hearts, right? Like Imam Shafi, he said, "Shakawtu ila waki suahibdi, fa'arshadani ila tarkil ma'asi." I complained to my teachers, Waki, his name, about something I forgets, of knowledge. And then he said, if you don't want to forget, keep away from sin. فأخبرني بأن العلم نور. And then he taught me the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like light. وَنُورُ اللَّهِ لَا يُلْقَى لِعَاصٍ. And that light will not come to the heart to lot of sin. Yeah, so we have to check always our hearts, our feeling. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will suddenly you find something that you because like Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu. Umar can see the battle in Yarmouk. There's 2,000 miles from Medina. When once one of the leader didn't know where to go, and Umar mentioned it. Right? This a man came to Masjid from Mecca after the Battle of Badr. Umar said, this man he intend something bad to Rasulullah. It is true. He found out he was wearing the Umar. How Umar can see that? Yeah. So many things. So that's number one. Number one, that means. Number two, to have Baseera, we have to increase our knowledge. Knowledge about Quran, knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And when you know Allah more, and then, that Baseera will be increased. So therefore, all of us here, we have Baseera. Some might be very tiny. Some might be half. Some are very strong. Yeah. Sometimes they know it after too late. And you can feel it. I met many brothers and sisters who were not practicing before. And then after they're practicing, become close to the masjid of Islam, they see it, something's different than before. Right? I mentioned last time, there's a brother, he loved everything, sport, game. And sometimes when he can talk about Shihok, about football, hour, 2 hours, and everything. But then when he started close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he saw people was talking about that, he said, man, they're wasting their time. He used to. Before when they talk to, opposite gender, look like anybody, is like high, very free. No, he not like turn away, no, but he know the limit. He know what he have to talk. Before was, right? That's the light that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to the people. And how that? Because he come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when he come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give this kind of basira. Yeah. So there's dua, yeah, for that. So.
O Allah, we seek refuge in you from being deprived of vision as it engulfs the world around us in darkness. And we seek refuge in you from being deprived of Baseera and as it darkens our spiritual state and strips the heart of its feeling and the soul of its luminescence and beauty. Ameen.
Ameen. Yeah. So this is good dua. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us basira so we can see clearly. Because sometimes we see it, but it is too late. Yeah. So therefore, when you get the life of Rasulullah sallallahu and Rasulullah sallallahu sometimes Sahaba has different thought about something. Yeah, like there is before you misunderstand, it's not mean that the one who have basira, it means he is free from sin. No. Like somebody came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I commit adultery. That means he commit adultery. But now he have basira. Al-Ghamidiyah, her name. Rasulullah, you don't want to hear the first. Rasulullah, I need punishment. What brought her to Rasulullah? Because she have basira. to see the punishment of next life. Remember that Muslim always think about the future. It's okay, I'm suffer here, as long as I suffer in the future. Because suffer here just, a few days, few minutes. Yeah, Rasulullah looked like ignored her. But her basira very strong. Ya Rasulullah, I'm pregnant. And Rasulullah, he knew that when she did that, when she committed adultery, because of shaitan, because, it's not really, she's a bad woman. Something happened to anybody. Rasulullah said, go home and come back when you deliver the baby. When Rasulullah said, go home, what Rasulullah intention? That means khalas, you don't need to come back. When because in the hadith, when you commit sin, even adultery, whatever sin, inna Allah yakfiru dhunuba jami, Allah forgive all sin. As long as you are sincere, you want to ask forgiveness. So she went home 2 years. Can you imagine in these 2 years how look like the state of this woman who have basira? But because her basira is so high, when the baby was born, he brought the baby. Rasulullah, please. Rasulullah. But Rasulullah is not Allah. He cannot give a judgment. He just said, okay, Allah forgive you all this. He know Allah forgive him. And Rasulullah said, look, this baby need milk. Nurse the baby and then come back. Allah. She left. 2 years. The need nurse to Haulaini Kamilain. She nursed the baby. Rasulullah wanted her to stay home, khalas. Because an Nadam feel guilty, Rabbana dhalamna, this repent already. Khalas, Allah forgive her. But because her basira also so high, she came back. And she brought a bread and put in the mouth of the baby. Rasulullah, I win already. She wins. Rasulullah almost cried. Right? And then Rasulullah asked anyone who would like to take the baby. So some Sahabas say, I will take the baby. Remember, the baby is innocent. Then asked Khalid to dig a hole and then had to stone it. Because she married already, right? She married already. If she not married, had just plug or hand it down. Stone it. Why people will be asked question, why the punishment of adultery or marriage, rajam, stoning? Because when people did fornication, all of his body or her body enjoyed. So by stoning, let her all the body also, feel the pain. Stoning until death. And when the blood was flesh to Khalid cursed her. Rasulullah said, Khalid, do not curse her. She's clean now. She was expecting by all the angels. Her tawbah like the tawbah of the mountain of Uhud. Yeah. No, if she didn't have basira, what happened? She just hid. Yeah. So this is. So now, alhamdulillah. Like another story, the lady came to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, I have leprosy. That means something I invented. Right? Can you make dua for me? Rasulullah, you have two choices. I can make dua for you and you are cured, or you be patient with your sickness and for you Jannah. Allah, for you Jannah. And she was thinking, she can be, to live like normal woman. That's her choice, but no. Jannah. Look at the basira. Look at the future. Right, Rasulullah, I'll be patient, inshallah, with this sickness, as long as I'm going Jannah. You know, something Rasulullah died when she passed by. The Sahaba said, "You want to know the lady of Jannah? That lady." But then she came back, Rasulullah, when I have leprosy, sometimes my aura, my private part, everything was exposed. Rasulullah make dua, she was protected. Yeah. But you know, we learn from her story. So sometimes to enter Jannah, Allah give us some certain tests. Her test was what? With this kind of sickness. Maybe you and me, Allah have different ones. So when you have something, you have suddenly have, may Allah protect us. We have, you know, sickness, kind of sickness, need a kidney. And yesterday somebody was told me that his mother have cancer. You know, you lost job. You know, you lost the one that you beloved, and anything. Allah said, Allah, if it is bring me to Jannah, I'm ready. Like that lady. I have this kind of sickness, I don't want this. But it's bringing Jannah is good. So sometimes Allah will give you like the ways to Jannah and give it something that we call bala, calamity. You know, so next time you have calamity, if you have Baseera, say Allah, if this calamity will bring to Jannah, I'm ready for it. Yeah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah give us Baseera, so we can see something behind the thing that what in the front of us is from what inside. Yeah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us Baseera. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen our iman, strengthen our taqwa, inshallah. Any question? وجهك وعظيم سلطانك اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم نور قلوبنا ببصيرتك يا الله يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفعنا البلاء والوباء. اللهم ارزقنا راحة المتقين وسعادة المؤمنين وأجر الصابرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.